my name is Adriana and this is a NetGalley reading vlog. So this vlog takes place over the course of like a couple weeks and I read 3 different books. The first one I read is Epic of Helinthia, and then the Antiquity Affair, and then Arca. So I can't quite remember where my NetGalley score was. I meant to like check in at like to see the progress of my NetGalley feedback ratio, but I'm just so bad at NetGalley that I just don't think that's feasible for me. But I did read 3 arcs during this vlog, got them all reviewed. I think I'm up to 70% now feedback ratio, which is worse than it was at one point. I think at one point I was at like 75, but you know, it's a good time. This vlog also partially takes place during the Wonderathon readathon, so I will be discussing that a little bit. But other than that, strap in for a fun vlog with camping and 4th of July and I think other types of shenanigans I can't quite remember. So take it away, past Adriana. So, as I mentioned in my last NetGalley vlog, as soon as I checked my feedback ratio score to see where I was at, I automatically went in and requested more arcs because of who I am as a person. And I got accepted for 2 more arcs, one of which is archiving next week. So I'm going to be starting it right now. I guess some other stuff going on in my life. I am participating in the Wonderathon readathon. By the point this video actually comes out, that will probably be well and good over, because I don't know how many more arcs or how many arcs I'm going to include in this, / when I'll get to them, whatever. But I will be participating in Wonderathon. Today is Thursday, and I'm about to go out and get some drinks with a friend who just quit at our work and she's going to go get a different job. So we're gonna go have some farewell drinks with her. Also meeting my cousin for dinner. Tomorrow, Friday, we are taking off to go camping. So it's busy, and I'm just trying my best to hold to the fact that I requested these books, so I should probably read them. But the book I will be starting with is Epic of Helinthia. It seems to be a story based on Greek mythology, or I guess inspired by Greek mythology, but not really retelling any specific story. The author is using kind of the Greek pantheon and I guess parts of Greek culture to tell a new story with new characters, new locations. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what I think. The author followed me on Goodreads and messaged me, so I'm a little nervous, but hopefully I love it, so there's no conflict of interest. Good morning. I just made it to the 3rd mark of Epic of Helinthia. I'm just starting to like get into it and really like feel the story. Feeling pretty good about that. I am struggling a little bit with keeping some of the characters straight. We do have different POVs from different characters, but their voice is fairly similar, especially among the male characters. So it's really hard for me to keep our party of traveling male characters together, but so far it seems like we are mostly following the governor of one province of this kingdom, who seems like he's decided he is going to rebel. His thoughts of rebellion have been revealed to the king, and so now there's some issues ensuing. The governor is currently on a journey to another province to go to a wedding feast, and it seems like this wedding feast is gonna cause everybody some issues. That's where we're at. Like I said, I am like just now starting to feel like I'm really getting into it. So hopefully I will kind of pick up my reading pace a little bit now that I kind of know what's going on. I still am not totally sure about the connections between all the characters. There is a, I guess, character guide at the front of the book that does show like kind of the hierarchy of all of the characters and where they stand within the hierarchy, but it's not as easy to flip back and forth on the e-reader, and that chart is spread across 2 pages, so it's just not that easy, and I'm lazy. I'm kind of feeling just like kind of an average 3-star from this at this point. Nothing super duper wrong with it besides the characters kind of feeling a little samey. We will have to see if they get, you know, a little more development or a little bit different as the plot and the story go on. It also might help if they kind of get split up and we don't see them, you know, all in the same place doing the same thing. Good morning. I'm at the 70% mark of Epic of Helinthia, and what does that amount to? 1.7 hours left in this book, and it archives today, so I have to finish it today. So wish me the best of luck in getting this done. I am enjoying this middle part a lot more than I enjoyed the first part. I'm still just having some issues really connecting with the characters and feeling like anything they do is important. Also, the first third of this book was like full historical fiction, and then this second part has been kind of more fantasy. The gods have been an active participant, and I kind of wish we had gotten introduced to that element earlier, especially since I've gotten to this point where I don't automatically assume that the gods are going to be a character in a Greek mythology retelling. A lot of them I've read have been that historical fiction take, so it's just helpful for me to be introduced to the gods as a character earlier on in the story, just so I know what to expect. But yeah, I think at this point, it's just kind of sitting at like a 3-star. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it finishes up. Alright, I am post-workout where I finished Epic of Helinthia, and honestly, reading this book just felt like a workout. I think this could have been like, I'm gonna give it 3 stars. I think this could have been a 4-star book had it not been Greek mythology. Write this down in the freaking history books. Adriana wants less Greek mythology. But this story just didn't really fit the vibe of like a Greek myth. It really felt like a more kind of traditional, like European medieval kind of fantasy story, which is fine, which is great. I love medieval fantasy. Everybody loves a good medieval fantasy. That's like a base of the genre. And I really feel like this was almost written as a medieval fantasy, and then last minute they decided for marketing reasons it would sell better as a Greek mythology adjacent book. It didn't need it. It didn't need it. And I think your enjoyment of this book will be a lot higher if you just, in your mind, replace all of the Greek-like words with like medieval fantasy-like words. So, I mean, it was a good story. It seems like the author was setting it up to be a series. If it does continue on to be a... Hey, stop licking books. Stop licking books. Let me just show you my dog's freaking face right now. Why are you licking books? Huh? Why are you doing that? Why is that a thing that we're partaking in? Where was I before I was rudely interrupted by my dog? It was fine. 3 stars. Won't be continuing on with the story if they do make this into a series. I think the book ends fine for what it is. I don't really know what else to say. So I'm gonna leave it there, and I'm going to submit this book for my readathon and write a NetGalley review tomorrow, probably. Dude, stop licking the books. I obviously gotta put my books away because the dog is just too tempting for him. Good morning. Today I'm going to start the Antiquity Affair by I don't remember who, but I will have the cover up here so you can see it because I don't have the cover with my Arc, NetGalley Arc. Wow. I'm really struggling this morning. I don't really remember anything about what this book is besides archaeology something, so I feel like I'm gonna love it. I can't remember if it's like historical fiction and is taking place in the past or if it's like modern day. I don't know, but I'm very excited to start it because, like I said, archaeology. I love most books with archaeology. So definitely looking forward to that. Other than that, I'm planning on trying to get a good chunk of it read at the gym this afternoon. This weekend is 4th of July. Ideally, I'd like to get this read mostly during this week because I don't foresee myself reading a lot this weekend, and it'd be nice not to kind of like lose track of what's going on. That's where we're at. Should be a good time. I will check in at the 33% mark and hopefully have a better idea of what's happening in this book. Good. Oh God. Good morning. I made it to the 34% mark, so a little over a third of the Antiquity Affair, and I am really enjoying it. Like, this is a perfect book for me. So I know a little bit more about it now, but it is taking place in the past, like 1907, I think is the year it's supposed to be taking place, but kind of like a Gilded Age feel. The two main perspectives are two sisters. One I think is like 18-ish, young adult, and then that's Lila, and then a younger sister, Tess. They have kind of been put at odds for a lot of years after their mother died. Lila, the older sister, kind of took the mantle of being this perfect high society debutante, whereas Tess, the younger sister, kind of became a little mini-me of their dad, who is an archaeologist slash Egyptologist slash steals a bunch of stuff from Egypt and brings it back to America and Britain. And on the night of Lila's coming out party, debutante kind of party thing, her sister Tess is back from boarding school. They are trying to hang out together, do their thing. They end up getting in a fight. They split up, and Lila's proposed husband, who's super rich, runs into Tess thinking it's Lila and ends up absconding with her. And Lila runs into her dad at this party, who is very late, and he tells her to come with him to be safe. And so they both witness younger sister Tess being abducted, and so now they are both on separate paths trying to come back together. And all while this is going, there is this plot of trying to find this ancient Egyptian crown that is supposed to have all these magical powers. And it's just chaos incarnate, and so far not too much actual archaeological stuff. So the actual story, the actual book part of the book, I'm really enjoying, and I think is going to be just a super duper fun read. But the e-arc is just like a PDF file. It's not an actual like ebook, EPUB file. And that's like kind of not ideal. I'm not really enjoying that aspect of this reading process. Yeah, it's not great. I think the publisher of this is, Harper Muse. I can tell because they put a watermark on every single page of the PDF. Harper Muse, please release an actual EPUB file for your NetGalley arcs, because this is not ideal of a reading experience. Other than the actual file of the ebook, I'm really enjoying the ebook. Today is Thursday. This weekend we are going to the lake to go celebrate 4th of July. So we are actually taking Friday off and leaving tonight. I have not done any packing. I have not done any preparation for this trip. So it's gonna be kind of a mess tonight, but hopefully probably won't be able to finish this weekend. I'm gonna have way too much going on. Although I guess we do want to try to go golfing, and then like I'm not gonna golf, I'm just gonna sit in the cart and read. So I mean that could be a good chance for me to get some of this read and done. I will check back in again at the 66-67% mark.
Hello, I have made it to the 2/3 part of the Antiquity Affair. I'm still really enjoying it. It is slowing down a little bit just through like kind of the traveling part, but now we are at some pyramids. We're going to do some archaeology. We're going to do some crazy puzzle solving, and it should be a really good time. And I still really hate that this is a PDF. We're still up at the lake. Today is big barbecue day, so we got a brisket going, and it's going to be more lake fun and just a grand old time. Jeez. Oh God. Well, I better go before my dog just destroys my phone.
This is our bird. He just hangs around and doesn't seem to be scared of humans or dogs. He just vibes. Hello, I finished the Antiquity Affair over the weekend and it is everything I had hoped it would be. Just ridiculous Da Vinci Code-esque archaeology, Egyptology, Gilded Age nonsense, and it was impeccable. I don't believe this is being like marketed as the start of a series, but the author did definitely leave it open to like continuing to be a series, which would be great. I would love to read more of this dynamic. I love the relationship between the two sisters. It's very realistic in the way, I guess at least in my experience, the way they fight and bicker and their tenuous relationship and how they come to overcome the tensions that have been placed on them by their family and kind of get over it and become close again is just so good. I did struggle with this formatting of Arc the entire time. I'll insert a clip of it now, but I guess they must have released this Arc so early that like they just didn't have any illustrations or anything that are gonna be in the final book, so it'll just say like image of the notebook with the hieroglyphs in it. And so it definitely takes you out of the story and is like a little irritating because like I want to see those illustrations. So I think I'm probably going to order this book. It is out. I think it came out like June 6th. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was just right up my alley. If you are also into mystery, ancient mystery nonsense with powerful MacGuffins, this I think would be right up your alley as well. I think I'm gonna give it like a 4 out of 5. Like it's not doing anything incredible, but it's just a fun time. Like I just really enjoyed it. And I think, like I said, the relationship between all of the characters are really interesting and really fun. I think the relationship of these daughters with their dad is really interesting. Yeah, overall, definitely recommend this one. It's very fun. So with that, that is another NetGalley arc ticked off the list. Definitely enjoyed this one. Definitely would recommend it. And bye. Good morning. It is Friday and my husband and I decided to take work off today because we want to go camping and it's kind of far and we haven't been there and we just didn't really want to go to work. So with all of that, we're taking today off. We're gonna go camping and I am planning on reading a NetGalley arc that I let archive, but the archive date was before the published date. So I couldn't read it because it was already archived, but it wasn't published yet, so I couldn't get it. But it's out now, so I can read it. So I will be reading Arca, a graphic novel. I think it's about like the last people on Earth had to like escape the Earth, and it's all like rich people, but there's like these teenagers that like live on the ship they escaped the Earth with who are like slaves. But I don't know, I think it's gonna be like ripping on rich people, which I'm always down for. I can rip on rich people in any genre. Super down. So I am looking forward to that, but it looks like it starts off with like some schematics of like the ship and the people and kind of everything about that. So I am looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good time. The art style, we'll see how I vibe with it. It's kind of a little strange, but should be a good time. So I will be reading that on this camping trip. / probably giving you some clips from the camping trip. Are you excited to go camping, buddy? Are you excited? Oh, see if we can get this guy to wake up from his nap to go camping. Damn. Hello, we made it to the campground, we settled in, did some reading. Unfortunately, sometime between like this morning when I stopped reading and when we got here, the Hoopla app on my iPad like just logged me out for some reason, so I'm having to read it on my phone, which is not the most ideal situation, but at least I still get to read it. But I am a third of the way through and I am definitely enjoying it so far. It's one of those setups where, you know, you have all of these, like I mentioned, children who work on the ship and like perform all the chores, and then when they turn 18 they graduate and they're not allowed to interact with the other children anymore. And for some reason this gal who's a month out from turning 18 all of a sudden realizes that this is kind of a sketchy situation, and it's like you've been on this ship for 18 years almost and never crossed your mind that this could be weird. So she's starting to question it, you know, interacting with the citizens of the ship and whatnot. So there's definitely something funky going on with these kids when they turn 18 that I'm sure will be revealed to us later. Other than that, I'm enjoying our little campsite here. It's very cute. It's very hot, but I'm getting pretty hungry, so I'm gonna make myself a sandwich. Alright, I made it to the 2/3 mark of Arca, and some weird stuff is definitely going down. We still don't know exactly what's happening to these kids once they graduate, but we know it's nothing good. So I'm gonna keep reading and potentially take a nap. But I have been just flying through this book. The story itself is nothing groundbreaking, but it's just fun to read it in, you know, a graphic novel style. I think the art is really interesting to look at. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Alright, I just finished Arca. It was a fun, quick little read. Like I said, not really doing anything particularly special. I think if you've read like any amount of sci-fi, you can probably call like all of the twists and all of the plot beats. But I think it was well done, just not anything particularly special. So I'd probably give it like a 3. But I would definitely recommend it if you're just looking for a fun afternoon read. So with that, that is the last book I will probably read for this NetGalley vlog. So I will see you in an outro clip. So here we are at the end of this vlog. It was a time. It was a long time. I don't really remember the books I read. Epic of Helinthia, I think I've harped on that enough. It is what it is. It is a independently published book, so if you are into indie authors and want to support them, I would definitely recommend this book with the caveat of think of it less as a Greek mythology and more of just a generic fun fantasy. The Antiquity Affair was a super fun, bombastic story. I really, really enjoyed it. I hated the fact that it was a PDF and not an EPUB file. That was atrocious. Please, publishers, don't do that. That just really made my reading experience very difficult. And then Arca was just kind of a fun graphic novel. It was very quick. I think it took me like an hour to read, maybe. Less than an hour probably. But it was just a fun kind of little bow to wrap up this vlog with. So please let me know if you'll be checking out any of these now published books. And thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.